Okay, guys, before we get started with the Q&A, if you need some money for the upcoming Valentine's Day DLC, be sure to check out G2A with the link in the description. They've got deals on shark cards you can't get anywhere else, and use code BOSS if you want an extra discount. Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be doing another Q&A video where I take your questions from Twitter and I answer them all in this video. Now, in today's Q&A, we've got lots of questions, of course, as you would imagine, regarding the Valentine's Day DLC, some upcoming things for Grand Theft Auto Online, and a whole lot more. I think we've got some pretty awesome questions today. I can't wait to get it started. So with out of the way, let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into it. All right, so I'm going to be tackling two Valentine's questions first because I feel like they go hand in hand and I can talk about them pretty much within the same subject line. The first question comes from Franco, and he says, what are you most excited for in the Be My Valentine update? Hashtag AskBoss. And also from Sarnish, who says, is the Roosevelt Valor worth buying? Hashtag AskBoss. All right, so those are two very valid questions. Now, we're going to start with Franco's first. What am I most excited for in the Be My Valentine update? Well, there isn't a lot of content that's going to be coming with this DLC. There's pretty much going to be the new clothing, which we've seen for both males and females, and there's also going to be the Albany Roosevelt Valor. And honestly, I think that's what I'm most excited about. But I'm also pretty excited about the clothing as well. I'm excited about both parts of this DLC almost equally. There seems to be lots of cool clothing items. I feel like females got a lot of pretty awesome clothing in terms of like dresses and the sexy lingerie and underwear. So if you're into dressing up your character, this is going to be a really fun DLC. And getting into the other question, which came from Sarnesh, he said, is the Roosevelt Valor worth buying? Now, the only reason I know about the customization for this car is because I was able to mod it into single player. I've done a few videos where I've told you guys about the customization, the comparison between the Valor and the regular Roosevelt, and there is a good bit of difference. The Roosevelt Valor has a ton of customization. All in all, I think there was like 27 different categories of customization that you could do to the Valor, whereas the regular Roosevelt, I believe, only had like 15 or 16. So there's definitely a ton more you can do. The only thing that might stop you is the price point. I know that this car is going to be fairly pricey. I think it's a $982,000. So again, price could definitely be an issue for this car. That might be the only thing holding back some people, but I still do believe it's going to be a popular buy, and I do personally believe that it is going to be worth buying. All right, our next question is from James Appleyard, and it's another Valentine's Day DLC question. He says, hashtag AskBoss, do you think the Valentine's Day DLC will go away after a few weeks like in 2014? Now, this is a pretty good question. A lot of people actually have not asked that. And yes, I do believe that the Valentine's Day DLC will go away after a few weeks. I think it's going to be extremely similar to the Festive Surprise 2015 DLC, where it's going to last for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then after that, it's going to go away. And I think it's going to be very similar to the Festive Surprise as well, whereas maybe the clothing items will disappear from the update, and the only thing you're going to be able to keep is the car. Now, one of the differences I can see between this upcoming Valentine's Day DLC and the Festive Surprise is that this new vehicle, the Albany Roosevelt Valor, is likely only to be available for purchase during the 2 to 3 weeks that it's available, unlike the Class A Tampa, which to this day, even though the Festive Surprise DLC is long from over, is still available to purchase on the Southern San Andreas Super Autos website. So again, I guarantee you that it will go away, but it's just going to be a matter of if the content will still be available to be purchased after the DLC goes away. Again, we're just going to have to wait from Rockstar to really see what they have planned to do with the DLC and with the update itself. So who really knows? I do know that it is going to be going away at some point, obviously. And as I mentioned earlier, I think the timeline is going to be very similar to Festive Surprise. So it'll likely be available for 16 to 17 days, and that's going to be it. Now, that's also a great segue into another question, which comes from Game Rio. Now, I've talked about this question a lot, but I get asked it so much that I figure I would still cover it again. He asked me, since Rockstar has expanded the double money for VIP work until Thursday, February 11th. Do you think Valentine's Day DLC will come out on Friday? Hashtag AskBoss. Now, Game Rio, I actually do believe that you are correct on this issue. I also think that the Valentine's Day DLC is going to be coming out Friday, February 12th, for a few reasons. One, it's kind of on the same day that they released the Valentine's Day DLC in 2014. Both of those DLCs came out on a Friday. So maybe Rockstar is trying to like match up the release times by also releasing this on a Friday. And also, Rockstar rarely overlaps events. So when an event is going on, they typically do not do something new while that event is still happening. So since you mentioned this Double Money VIP work week is going on through February 11th, that would kind of eliminate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for Rockstar to release this DLC. And as I've touched on in other videos, this isn't a DLC that's going to require a new update. All Rockstar has to do is flip on these new tunables, and the new content will be unlocked in our game. So yes, this is going to be my final update on this. February 12th is going to be the date that I am talking about for the release of the content. Now, again, that is just my best guess, but it does make sense with the alignment of 2014's DLC and the fact that this VIP double money stuff is going on till Thursday makes Friday a very likely date. All right, our next question comes from Kyle Stanton, and he says, Heist came out in March last year. Do you think they will add more Heists next month for the anniversary? Hashtag AskBoss. Ooh, now this is an interesting question. I have not been asked this yet, so I was kind of excited to tackle this. Wow, that would be extremely cool, Kyle. And doesn't it seem like time has flown by so fast? Can you believe that this time last year we were talking about Heist and, how excited we were, and now it's been a complete year? I mean, isn't it crazy how time flies? The nostalgia will just make you go insane. But anyways, as cool as that would be, Kyle, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Rockstar are focused on bigger and better things than Grand Theft Auto Online Heists. And also, as they've mentioned a lot, specifically with IGN, heists were something that took them a long time to do. And it kind of gave off the impression that they weren't going to be doing anymore going forward. So I don't think we're going to be seeing any new heists for the anniversary, although I would love it if they gave us a surprise heist, just one more. That would be really, really cool. But again, I doubt that that is going to happen as much as I want it. That's actually a great segue into our next question. Game Rio has actually got 2 questions on here. Now, I think his wording is a little off, but he states, hey, Ross, do you think we have some big content coming to GTA Online in March? Hashtag AskBoss. Now, I've been stating this for a while now, that because we got the recent Benny's Drop Zone DLC and this Valentine's Day update, that Rockstar is planning something big for Grand Theft Auto Online. And when I mean big, I mean a DLC the size of lowriders or executives and other criminals. Because let's be honest, the DLC that they put out the other week, I'm sure it took them a long time to create the cars, the art sketchings and the liveries, the design. But let's be real, it were 2 cars that were already in the game, and they just added some new kind of customization and an adversary drop zone mode that's been completed for a while now. So that wasn't the biggest update in terms of content, and I think Rockstar dropped that DLC in order to hold us over to, like you said, something big that's going to be happening in March. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Lowriders Part 2 or some other giant GTA Online DLC, or maybe even single player gets something, or at least a mention of something. But I do think you're on the right track, and I think some big content is going to be coming into Grand Theft Auto Online after this month of February, which of course I'm going to be very excited for. All right, our next question comes from It's Fozzie, and he says, do you think Benny's will see more car classes in the future? We have lowriders and race cars. Could there be more types? And yes, I have guessed that there are going to be more types of cars added into Benny's sometime in the future, ever since we got this DLC. If you watch my video I did a few days ago, I talked about how that it looks like there is a Vapid Peyote, which we of course know is a sports classic car, and also there looks to be a Grotti Cheetah inside of Benny's garage. Now, of course, that doesn't really mean anything, but also keep in mind that there's a Bravado Banshee on one of the lifts in Benny's garage as well. So maybe that was foreshadowing one of the updates that was coming to the game. Obviously, we got the Banshee. Maybe the Grotti Cheetah will foreshadow that we get something like supercars into the game. Now, again, that could just be a total guess on my end, but since Benny's was originally lowriders and then it kind of expanded to race cars, I could see more types of cars being added into the game, whether it be supercars, sedans, off-roading vehicles added into Benny's. That seems far-fetched and crazy, but who knows? And I'd love to see what Rockstar has next planned up their sleeve for Benny's. I think there's lots of potential and opportunities there. I'm just excited for whatever they do next, honestly. Our next question comes from CM Clunk, and he says, what other holidays do you see Rockstar doing potential DLCs for in the future? Hashtag AskBoss. So Rockstar already does Valentine's Day, they do Independence Day, they do Halloween, and they do Christmas. So those are their 4 big DLCs, and the Christmas one kind of, pairs in New Year's Eve as well. So for some American-based ones, I know that there's Thanksgiving, although that would be kind of an odd holiday to recreate Grand Theft Auto Online content for. So again, I'm not sure how practical that would be. There's Thanksgiving, which is kind of United States based only. There's Easter, which is a religious-based holiday theme. So again, that would be segregating kind of a portion of the population of GTA Online. Those are kind of like the 2 biggest ones I can think of, Easter, Thanksgiving. I'm sure that there's some others, and if you have some, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. But honestly, I think Rockstar have tackled the big 4 or 5 that they already implement into the game. All right, and our final question comes from Max, and he asks a very simple question. He says, but why? And he includes this picture that I'm going to show you guys on the screen right now. It's a ban that actually has him banned until the year 2289. I mean, how insane is that? So I did the math, and the year 2289 minus 2016 is 273. That means that Max somehow got a 273-year ban. You guys thought that the 20-year bans were bad until the year 2036. Imagine being banned until 2289. I mean, we probably won't even be playing video games on Earth. We'll be like playing video games on Mars or something like that by the year 2289. So again, I don't really know what is going on with Rockstar's banning system. Needless to say, it's been crazy lately. 20-year bans, 21-year bans, 273-year bans. It's safe to say that they've definitely tweaked their anti-cheater system, or are definitely cracking down a little bit more harshly on people that do cheat in-game. So I really don't have a firm explanation for you, because I certainly haven't gotten one of these messages. But I mean, if you're cheating in GTA 5 or online, you might want to be careful, because you might be slapped with a 273-year ban. So the best I can do is give you a warning, because I don't know what's going on, but it's certainly happening, because this isn't the first time we've seen this, which is pretty crazy. But anyways, that's all the questions that I'm going to be answering in this week's Q&A. If you want to get involved in the next one, all you have to do is go down in the description, follow me on Twitter, and use the hashtag AskBoss whenever I'm doing a Q&A session, and you can possibly get featured in the next video. If you did go on to enjoy, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily Grand Theft Auto 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.